and qualified for the championship ahead of Australia on goals difference. But again, the players for both nations, for Russia and also for Saudi Arabia, for me, don't even spring to my face and don't even inspire any confidence. So I'm not looking forward to maybe a fantastic game between both nations. But again, anything can happen.
Of course, I would have this run through as to what to expect at the World Cup. But before we do that, the Russians are leading from the front because the starting players for today is very important. Of course, very important for the nation and the World Cup at large is out. And one man who mans the stick, his name is none other but Igor Akinfev, leads his teammates out for this very big one. Bimbo.
Yeah, the Russians have released their starting 11 for this encounter, coming a little less than 15 minutes away from kickoff, just to get to the top of the hour there. And Igor Akinfev is it will be between the sticks for this particular one. Yuri Zerkov, former Chelsea man, I know a lot of Premier League faithfuls will also know that man. Mario Fernandes is in there, as well as Ilya Kutepov. Sergei Ignashevich is also in there with Yuri Gazinski, Roman Zobnin, Alexander Samedov, Alexander Golovin, Alan Zagoev, Fedor Smolov, and of course the manager of the team, Stanislav Chechezov. All make up those you see go out for Russia in this particular encounter. No word yet on who will be on the bench and all of that, and we are also expecting word from Saudi Arabia to release their starting 11 as well. Just going to check to see if that's been done. Nothing yet from Saudi Arabia, but that's what it will look like from the host Russia. I'm talking about opening game, opening matches for the competition. I think one that comes to mind for me is France 98. It was almost a shocker there. Brazil, and I think it was Scotland. Scotland opened the scoring in that particular one and almost stunned Brazil, but Brazil came back and won that particular one 2-1. But it was a good opening goal, and like that. Let's see how exciting this one will be, considering that these two teams are the lowest ranked teams in this competition. Russia, who are actually the hosts, are the lowest ranked team in the competition. Most. I mean, and you might want to say maybe it's because they qualified on the back of them being hosts. They didn't have to play any qualifiers, so there were no games, for FIFA to rank them, so they just kept dropping, and they didn't do themselves any favor as well, because they haven't won a game since October. Actually, their last game that they played, the fans booed them. Well, they didn't really boo, but they whistled them off the pitch, and it wasn't looking so good. Let's see, if they will have to, if they'll be able to redeem themselves, when they actually play today. That former Manchester United defender, Kanchelskis,
absolutely. Yeah, saying this is the worst.
He's saying this is the worst
Russian side ever.
The worst ensemble of Russian team. Yeah, he's assembled actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you consider exactly what Russia did in 2008 European Championship, where they got to the semi-final, lost to the eventual winner, the Spaniards. I think that was 3-0. The semi-final. That team had stars on their roster. You talk about the goalkeeper right now, Nairo Perun. I'm talking about Akinfev, Arshavin, the former Arsenal player. I think Yuri Shekov was also on that roster.
Was there.
But right
and
now,
also the captain also. The most experienced player is 38. Ignatius.
Yeah.
He was there too.
He was there too. But right now, I think they've actually lost some key names. I'm looking forward to guys like the Berezovsky twins. They're now there. Because this man, the Russian manager, Chechezov, somehow devised opinion. I think he's there. He's a bit divisive. We're here. He's been quarreling with some of the star names, and that's why the twins left the team. That's why some other players, I can't remember the star names that couldn't also come to play for the Russian national team. So right now, I think he is under huge pressure. I mean, the manager for Russia. So I don't know. I believe in what this guy said, Kanchelskis. This for me is the worst Russian team ever.
Namdi, for me, I simply have to disagree a little bit because looking at this Russian team, it's a mixture of old players and young players. Ignaz Shevich, the player for CSK Moscow, he's 38 years old. He had to come out of retirement because of issues they are having defensively. This is a man that has played his dues for a very, very long time. And Namdi, if you add so much experience, if you add the caps of the goalkeeper Akifeyev, you add Ignaz Shevich, you add Yuri Zikov, and you add Samedov, these are experienced players. All together, they've played 360 times for Russia. That is actually huge. So experience is there. I don't really know what we're expecting from this Russian squad. Honestly, let's be serious now.
Denisov is not
there.
He's
the
best player in Russia right now.
No, I think the best player playing in Russia right now when it comes to different positions, it has to be one of their best strikers. Smolov scored a lot of goals. Kokorin is also injured. You also have one of the best young midfielders you ever see, Golovin. This player is just 22 years old. When it comes to set piece, actually one of the best. He scored a fantastic free kick against Arsenal. Nobody saw it coming. Also, a man that has honestly paid his dues in this Russian squad, it has to be Zagoyev. So honestly, looking at this squad, because you call them the worst Russian squad. Honestly, for me, they are not, because Russia were not. They used to be big gone at the days. So gone at the days, everything changed. If you sit for a long time, people are going to take over. And that's why they are hosting in their country, to make it look like, okay, we are here and we have to stamp an authority. Russia is not going to win the World Cup.
But let me ask
they have a good squad. I love this Russian squad. They have a good squad. The mixture of old and young.
If they had to play qualifiers, do you think this team would have qualified?
I'm definitely sure they would have.
No way.
100% sure they would have. 100% sure they would have.
See, Buchi, all the names you're mentioning right now, can you compare those names to Arshavin, to Pavlyuchenkov?
Pavlyuchenko.
Yeah.
But they have good strikers in Smolov and Kokorin, even though he's injured. They also have they also have Adayuba, a fantastic striker. I remember he went to he played for Zenit and he went to Arsenal Tula on loan. Scored a fantastic goal and had to go celebrate in front of Mancini, telling him, Baba, na me day here. So I think they have good strikers. But these things happen where people take over. Because you're 100% gone at this doesn't mean you still be 100% now. Things are taking over. Trust me. Honestly, I don't really know what we want from this Russian squad. But they have a fantastic team of old and new players. I used to have a problem with them because their players are too old. Gone are the days. All of them they are so old. But right now, I think the manager is trying to look for a mix. Looking at this age, Kokorin is Golovin is just 22. Daisuba is 27, and also they have young players and a mixture, the experience and the rest. That's how it works. So I trust this Russian squad. I trust them to be Saudi Arabia today. The people are looking at them and say this, that, they will not do so well. But Namdi, the Russians, if there's something they know how to do, they know how to win at home. Russians can go away and do something really doesn't make sense. Namdi, if Putin is your president, you don't disappoint at home.
All right, that's a very huge one, if I must say. But he says it's a fear factor. Well, if you just joined us, we are prepping your minds as the World Cup is set to kick off in less than an hour. And we are doing this in partnership with Kwese Free Sports and Radio Nigeria. That's a big one. So, of course, you want to know the guys in the studio. All you need to do is get to us on Facebook because we are live right there. And that's what we're doing. But let's, turn to the World Cup in general. Germany, Brazil, and the European champions themselves, Portugal. We will also not forget the 2014 runners-up Argentina, Belgium, Poland, and in '98 the winners France. Among the 8-seeded teams, hosts Russia, like everyone's saying, good or bad, we just don't know. I also see that though they are the tournament's lowest placed team, 70th in the FIFA World Ranking. But for Germany, one thing they are looking for is something that hasn't happened since 1962. That's winning the World Cup back-to-back. Kelechi, how possible will that be? Can Germany do it for the first time in a very long while?
I think for me it's a tall order, very, very tall order. And again, even their friendlies for me, wearing order, the wonderful, yes, they won some of them and lost to, Austria. Yes, it was a derby again between Germany and Austria when they play. It's like a derby, so anything can happen in that one. But Germany defending the 2018 FIFA World Cup is a very, very tall one because so far we've got some exciting talents that are coming through from the likes of Spain. Yes, Spain might have some managerial issues here and there, but again, it's a very solid team. You mentioned all the names, all the superstars on the Spanish roster. I can't even mention Sergio Busquets, Iniesta down there. For Germany, yeah, one thing going for them is the consistency because the manager Joachim Löw has been there for a long while, so there's this consistency when it comes to the managerial, of their game. So and they've got the stars. Somehow they're bringing some young stars. Somehow the squad is a bit diluted because now you see Kimmich coming through. Yes, he's a veteran, but again, he's a young man. You see some youngsters also coming through. So I think that might not play into their hands. They might struggle in terms of defending the championship. But again, I think they are also favourites to win that one. But I'm not picking them to win it back to back. It's not possible. I don't think so.
All right. We know that Germany have reached at least the semi-finals in each of the past 4 editions of the competition, and as the only team to progress through European qualifiers with a 100% record. They are expected to be in the shake-up again to see how they could win this one. They are in Group F. They have Mexico, they have Sweden, and South Korea. It looks quite easy on paper, but we know what football is. I don't think France woke up in that World Cup thinking that Senegal was going to beat them, but things like that do happen. But favourites to also win the World Cup, Brazil, Bimbo. They have been in terrific form since Tite took over. They are looking to win their 6th World Cup. Is it going to happen in Russia?
Well, there's a huge possibility it might happen. They are the favourites coming into this World Cup. They've been winning, on the bounce. The friendly games that they've been playing, they've looked very, very convincing. Neymar looks like 2 players in one. We saw, the friendlies that they played. How we took teams apart. Austria, that was a fantastic goal he scored in Austria, and he made somebody's father, just be rolling in grass. The goal.
Does the person's father's name start with drag?
I'm trying. I'm trying, not to embarrass, somebody, but you went there, and also, Croatia, and it's just coming out of injury, and everybody's looking good. Their attacking force. The attacking force is, it reminds me of that Dutch trio in 1990. I just hope the curse of that Dutch trio in 1990 does not befall them because, they went out in the group stage. We were all promising. Also, the Brazil team in that 1990 squad also were tipped to win the World Cup. Argentina, they lost to Argentina by just 1 goal. They played, the possession in that game was like 80-20. And it was just 1 pass from Maradona that set Caniggia free and Bob's your uncle, and they went on and they scored. And Brazil, I think Brazil struck the bar like 2 or 3 times in that game. Careca and the likes of them, they were just dancing around the ball. I hope this is not their problem, but I believe in Tite. Tite is not the manager, who likes to play class. Is
very direct.
Yeah, is like a military, type of person. He's changed the Brazilian game a little bit. They still play their samba, they still play the tiki-taka, but they are a little bit more direct and a little bit more purposeful. So I still, I put them up there, but this is football. We need to be very, very careful, when we throw out predictions. But I rate them very, very high. They might just go all the way.
All right, Brazil are the only nation to have appeared at every single World Cup. They have not won the tournament since that Korea-Japan feat in 2002, and not since 1958 in Europe. That's something you need to underline. Yet the Brazilians will fancy their chances, particularly as Neymar, who cost the world record £200 million when he moved from Barcelona to PSG. That was in August 2017. He's returned after a broken foot, and Bimbo rightly said that he seems like 2 players in one, Neymar. And of course, I don't see Brazil as that Neymar-centric team anymore since Tite took over. But for Spain, Buchi, they have several Champions League winners, of course, players who play for Real Madrid. They are also favorites. You want to talk about their manager, or their coach rather, being sacked. Would that be a factor in this one?
For me, when you look at that Spanish squad, I think the problem with that Spanish squad is the problem of transition. There was a time when Spain was the best team ever, the best countryside ever. I won everything winnable from that squad. That midfield of Xabi and Alonso, Sergio Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi. That was crazy. It was so important for them. But right now, I think what they didn't do is what Germany is doing right now, giving confidence to the younger boys. Because right now, Germany have a first team, second team, third team. When your second team can actually win the Confederations Cup with so much ease. Imagine what the first team are doing. I think that's what Spain didn't do. Though they still have this experienced player, Sergio Ramos, captain of Madrid, Iniesta, former captain of Barcelona, Sergio Busquets and the rest. They have players in there. But the problem is, are these players ready? Also, they're bringing in young players. Sao Miguel is one of the most important players at Atletico Madrid. They also have Koke right there. Young players are coming in. Asensio is there. Vaquez is there and the rest. The mixture is kind of good right now. But honestly, for me, even if Spain didn't sack their manager, Lopetegui, he was sacked when he went to Madrid, backside. Honestly, I don't know this is Spain winning the World Cup. I didn't see them winning the World Cup in the first place. But talking about the man, they brought in Hierro. I think the reason why they brought in Hierro because they need a leadership presence. They need someone that doesn't have to talk before he gains respect.
And probably continuity.
Exactly, continuity. We know what Hierro has done when he plays football. One of the best captains ever. I think we have to call Sergio Ramos one of the best captains ever if he gets to retire. But right now, one of the best captains ever for them has to be Hierro. Leader, quality. Also remember, I think he managed the Madrid beat him before he was assistant coach. Right there, and also he's part of the Spanish FA. I think that's why they appointed him. But looking at it from an analytical standpoint, honestly, I think there are countries you call, like 3 countries you call before you start calling Spain. No insult to them. For me, they are not in top 5 favorites. Sometimes I will say the same time, I'm not being biased in any way. I think Nigeria have a chance to win the World Cup than Spain.
All right, the words from Buchi, not my words. I keep saying this. Kelechi's laughing.
Dropping bombs. Dropping bombs.
Saying Nigeria stand a chance of winning the World Cup more than Spain. But yeah,
wake up, man.
These things happen. But
that pig is deceiving.
Okay, we know that Spain won the World Cup on African soil for the very first time, and that was in 2010. And before that, before the 2010 World Cup, they had won the Euros 2 years before, and that was in 2008. And after that competition, after that World Cup victory, they also won the Euros again. So they were back-to-back European champions between 2008 and 2012. And Buchi says Nigeria stand a better chance of qualifying, of winning the World Cup than Spain does. We see your comments out there on Facebook.
If somebody was tracking this, that would be the news story for tomorrow.
Yeah, they just to be front page. That front page.
But I'm actually not joking. If you look at it, and I'm being analytical here. I'm not joking. I'm being very, very serious. I love the Spanish team, no joke. But you're talking about who have the chance of winning the World Cup. So for me, I'm not being because I'm Nigerian. I'm proud to be Nigerian time any day. But I'll pick Nigeria to win the World Cup ahead of Spain because looking at this Spain squad, they have fantastic player. But fantastic player can't do it enough. They have a good team. They qualified. They didn't lose a game. I think Lopetegui did a very, very good game. He didn't lose a game. But looking at the World Cup, honestly, they have won it. World Cup champion, everything champion. But champion have passed right now. Boys are not smiling right there. For me, I'll put Germany, Argentina, Brazil, Nigeria, any other country. I'm being so serious.
Sorry, did I hear Nigeria winning the World Cup ahead of Spain?
Definitely. Both of them will win it, so I'm just putting Nigeria ahead of Spain.
All right, guys.
Can you tell me what he was drinking before you came on?
No, it's not about
taking something. Was he drinking something?
Water.
Okay, water. He takes a lot of water.
My point is
was
simple.
it spiked?
Both teams can win the World Cup.
Yeah.
But if there's any of the teams that can win the World Cup, Nigeria will win it. But right now, I'm definitely sure both teams can win it.
All right, guys. This is the FIFA World Cup coverage right here on Nigeria Info in partnership with Kwese Free Sports and Radio Nigeria. It's a wonderful, wonderful combination. And as we also speak, Saudi Arabia have responded like for like. 11 players for Russia, being by 11 players now for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, most definitely. The Saudis have now released their 11-man list and the bench as well. There's Abdullah in goal, and Osama is the captain, is there in defense. Omar, Al-Buraik, Salman, Yahya, Al-Salawi, Yasser, Otaif, Taiser, and Salem. On the bench is Mansour, Ali, Hatan, Abdulmalik, Kano, Al-Kaibari, Usain, Fahad, Muhannad, Al-Musailem, Alois, and Mutaz. And of course, there's the manager, PZ1 Antonio, is in there as well.
Earlier today, PZ Antonio said that they are not coming to play this game against Russia with fear. They're going to go in there to beat Russia. And of course, as the broadcast pushes forward, would critically analyze what's definitely going to happen in that game. But we have your comments on Facebook as you are tuned in there, watching us live on Facebook. Buchi, we have a couple of comments in there. I hope you can take them.
Yes, we can take them on Facebook. Let's start from the ad. This one is coming from Ojotik OB. He's saying, creativity at the speak. Nice one from you guys. He's loving our studio.
Thank you very much.
I think the studio is world class in so many ways. And to join the comments is very, very easy. Just go to Facebook and search for Nigeria Info. It's simple. Or Nigeria Info Live. You can join and see us. Namdi looking so good. Bimbo and also Akelechi Bernard looking so fresh in the commentary way. Talking about this. Frank Happiness also talking. It's a fantastic job, guys. Adekola Salahu said the time for the match. Kickoff officially starts 4 p.m. Nigerian time. So join us. Olufemi David Emmanuel say, Chai, Bimbo handsome like this. Unlike Buchi. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. No wahala. Charles Chigos here, he said, how good to see you guys. Russia to win. Obija said, nice one, guys. We have more comments coming. Annie John, he's saying, a nice one. Hope you guys will follow up with the matches. Definitely.
Yes, we will.
Definitely.
Stick around.
We are following up with the matches. Olufemi David Emmanuel says, wow, I'm enjoying myself watching you guys. But my data is telling me, please go and subscribe, get more data. Don't carry last.
Quickly.
Don't carry last. This one is saying, Ogonaya John says, watching from Port Harcourt.
Oh, fantastic.
Respect to you. Olu Mighty Olu say, Mr. Laba, respects to you. Your Deji Olabi said, hello guys, good to see you guys, watching you guys live. We are waiting. Gozie is counting down to the World Cup. Now the comments are so much. Tunde is saying, Tunde, don't worry, that will be fixed. Stephen is saying, finally, the World Cup is here. We can actually wait for that. Daniel OC is saying, you guys are looking cool in the studio, but the Russian teams are not good enough. That's what he's saying. This one is greeting us, afternoon Femi and the gang. More comments on Facebook. The comments are flying in. I don't even. This one saying, hi guys, I'm feeling you guys for getting so much comments. Join us on Facebook right there to get the best when it comes to commentaries and also analysis right there. Let's take 3 more messages before we go.
All right.
Faith is saying, good to see you people. Nice to also see you too. Inform is saying, this is my first time I'm seeing you guys. I hope you're impressed with what you're seeing. Unlike the person that said, which is this. David is saying, good job, guys. Ibrahim is saying, Saudi Arabia is surely winning this one. Bigs up at Nigeria Info. Also respect to you. We're saying, bigs up everyone in the studio. Team Nigeria all the way.
All right, and pictures out there at the Luzhniki Stadium shows us the performance. Before that, we saw former Spain captain Iker Casillas show us the trophy. Still looking as beautiful as ever. That's the World Cup trophy. And we saw the real Ronaldo, like they say. That's Ronaldo da Lima also come on to the pitch. And shout out to you, Kingsley Gilbert, watching us all the way from Malaysia. That's what the World Cup does. It brings everyone together. And, of course, he's brought 3 fantastic partnerships, Nigeria Info, Kwesi Free Sports, and Radio Nigeria to this, as we're giving Nigerians the feel of Russia right from the lovely studios. So keep those comments coming in right there on Facebook, and we'll make sure we read every one of them. Did we forget, Kelechi, did we forget the European champions, the current European champions that have Cristiano Ronaldo in there?
Mm-hmm.
How much of the favorite tag do you think is on them?
I don't think it's much. I don't think it's much. Yes, they won the European Championship 2 years ago, but again, qualifying for me wasn't all that convincing, and also even their friendly games for me when we weren't all that convincing. I saw a friendly against the Egypt. And I was looking at, okay, let me see what Ronaldo can do in that one. He didn't do anything magical in that encounter. So Portugal, they have a way of flying under the radar. They come from nowhere to hurt you and burn you. So somehow they're also living, that way too, because the coach is saying they are not going there to shock the whole world. They're going to take every game as they come. And for me, I think he's sounding very very a bit conservative a little bit. So because he wants to go down there, because doesn't want any person to put any mark on him. He wants to go down there, take care of business and maybe surprise the whole world. But again, I don't think it's going to happen because now we all know what they can bring. We know Ronaldo. He's a record goal scorer for Real Madrid and also for Portugal.
Yeah.
We know some of the stars and also on their roster. I mean, talk about Sanchez is there. The veterans also at the back for Portugal. I think the former defender for Real Madrid also Pepe down there, and so it's like a veteran team somehow because the team is a bit top heavy when it comes to their ages, but again they can go down there and shock people. But I don't think they have that favorite tag to actually go and win the competition. I don't think so because right now it's like a marked team after winning the last Euros, and somehow some of the players are somehow almost on their last legs, and you need the World Cup for me will be absolutely frenetic with pace, with everything. So they cannot match that. So I don't think they are favorites to win it.
All right, Cristiano Ronaldo not even. An option in that one, according to Kelechi Bernard. But the other man, of course, once you mention Cristiano, the next man that comes to mind has to be Lionel Messi, and vice versa. You mentioned Messi, Ronaldo has to come up. Argentina also at the World Cup. It took just this little for them to miss out of the World Cup. And we know the last time Brazil almost did not qualify for the World Cup, they went ahead to win. I don't know if that's going to be the case for Argentina, but Lionel Messi might just be playing his final World Cup with Argentina. How would he do this for the country?
Well, they have the squad in attack, in my own opinion. But what they say, you win championships based on the quality of your defense. Even though for the World Cup you play just a handful of games, maybe about 8 or 9 games to the final. But they'll need to do a lot of work defensively to win this one. I think they have the quality in terms of attack. They've lost Lanzini in training. They lost 2 players in training, but they made up for it with quality, with enough quality, to replace those players. I mean, when you look at the quality of players that are taken, there's Aguero is in there, Higuain is in there, Dybala is in there, and I've not even mentioned Messi. But even these 3 guys alone, as the 3 strikers that you have, the manager is going to have a headache, trying to tweak that midfield position, and trying to work with everybody. They've not really had the best goalkeepers in their history. Unlike Brazil are going to the World Cup. Maybe perhaps for one of the fewest times, with a very good goalkeeper. Brazil,
goalkeepers for Brazil.
Yeah, but this time, I know they have that quality in attack. Talking about Argentina, and if you're going to talk about that too, recall Spain are also. I've never really been the strongest also defensively. They hold on to the ball and then they don't let you play and then they do all the play. If Argentina can adopt that model, if they can perhaps adopt that model, maybe they will go far, maybe as far as the final, because they have the quality in terms of attacking firepower. I tip them to go far as well. Maybe if they don't meet somewhere in the knockout stages, tipping, maybe a Brazil-Argentina final.
All right, and Brazil-Argentina, that's going to be a very big one. And just imagine Brazil and Argentina final. That's definitely going to be big. This is the official radio broadcast of the World Cup, Russia 2018. It's coming to you on Nigeria Info and the network service of Radio Nigeria in partnership with Kwese Free Sports. So we're getting ready for the first game of this very lovely and colorful World Cup out there in Russia. It's going to be between the host nation Russia and Saudi Arabia. We're looking at the favorites and the big tags that come with it. Let's also not forget Buchi France. A very young squad. Kylian Mbappe is one of them, and the rest of it. And that's a very big one. Do you see them as favourites in this one. But before you go, the opening ceremony is still going on live. Like I said, very colourful. Now that is the Ronaldo, the big one.
This is the real
Ronaldo.
The
real Ronaldo.
The real Ronaldo. The real Ronaldo is the one that's playing now.
El Fenomeno. El Fenomeno for you.
No,
if it would.
All right, the official mascot of the Russia 2018 World Cup and El Phenomenon, like you call him, Ronaldo da Lima. So
his size for me is worrisome.
Worrisome, the size, yeah.
His size is worrisome.
It was an asset, and it was also his downfall because he had such a huge upper body mass that his legs could not take it, and then he gave way.
No, not like you, Buchi.
Buchi, you're one wrong statement away from getting.
All right, Buchi. So you keep it intact, yeah?
Strike two. Is that right?
Okay, strike two.
All right, France. How much of favourites do you think France are leading up to the World Cup?
For me, I think they're in top 10 of teams that might win the World Cup. But looking at this French squad, you have to be very, very excited. I think the Camps have done a good job. Remember, he captained that France squad when they won the 1980 World Cup and also took them to the Euro 2006 final where they lost against Portugal. So I think they have a good squad. But when you look at the number of youth players playing in Europe, you look at that French squad, it's crazy. If a team can manage to drop a Lacazette, manage to drop Angel Ribot on the not taking them to the World Cup, what does it tell you? That means they have so much quality that they can drop some. They have quantity, they have quality. Ronan Conchene also not going to the World Cup, but they have two of the young best defenders right now. Varane for Manchester City and Umtiti for Barcelona. These two players are cleaning it in every way. Cleaning it. Is that right? They are doing great job in every way, and actually they are very, very, very young. Mendy as a right back, also very young. They also have CDB, a fantastic player. Anytime, they are also Payet not going to the World Cup. And it's no worry. There's some teams when you remove like 3 players from their squad, they are kind of gone. No insults to Portugal, but if Ronaldo is out, the team is kind of gone. But right now, you have so many players out of that French squad, and they are still doing the job. One player you mentioned, Mbappe, this is a player when he got injured, when Rami took him down in the training section, and he was kind of worried. The fans had to go around me. You don't injure our star boy. Mbappe have to tweet and say, you guys should leave my friend alone. I'm very, very fine. There's some players that should not get injured. Mbappe, fantastic player. For me, I think when it comes to young players, I think he's top there. What he did for Monaco when they won the league was huge, and also played for PSG. Learning under Neymar, that's huge for him. And also Dembele, Ousmane Dembele, fantastic with Dortmund. That big money move to Barcelona. Didn't do so well when he started, but right now he's beginning to find his foot and the rest, and he's doing so well. Griezmann, you can't talk without calling about Griezmann. Naby Fekir, Olivier Giroud, Paul Pogba.
I was waiting for you to miss that name.
Paul Pogba, Kante, and the rest. This team is quality everywhere. But now my problem is simple. Sorry, I have to go here. I think the German squad have star players, but they have a system that is working. They have a manager that have been there for a long time. I think the system is what is lacking for the French. They have the players, but they don't have the system. German players have the system and have the players, and it's working in a way for them. But the French squad is not working for them at all. Players does not work. I think the team unity is more and more important, and it's not working. That's why I really think the French squad can't win this World Cup for now. But if they keep a good set of these young players for the next World Cup, they might have a chance of winning the next World Cup. But this World Cup, honestly, I won't say Nigeria have a chance of winning the World Cup than France. Honestly, I think the French team are kind of up that idea. I think they're in top 5. Honestly, I'm looking for my 5th team. I said Germany, Germany, Argentina, Brazil, Spain. Spain. Not Spain. I think you put France there. They have a good squad. They have a good manager. They don't need a system that is working because his switch is not consistent when it comes to his tactics and the wise. I think he needs to be consistent and find what that works for him. He needs to learn from Germany.
All right, and of course, where would we place England, Kelechi?
You know one thing with England, for me,
we've seen the meme.
Give the flight on him. We'll be back.
No, you know one thing, guys. I've actually read everywhere. I've read. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, even on some online tabloids. People are not giving England due credit. For me, I think England has got an exciting bunch. They've got an exciting bunch this time around, and thank God this man came to City. That's Pep Guardiola changed the fortunes of some of the players, Sterling and Kyle Walker, and these two guys for me will be very, very key to England doing so well or going very, very deep in the championship in Russia. So The English team, I'm tipping this team to go very, very far. I'm not saying they will win the competition because I think it's a team coupled together by Southgate. Might not be all that experienced when it comes to coaching in international football, but again, he's got players who are very, very loyal to him. With some of the friendly game against Nigeria, in the first half, we couldn't even lay a glove on the English national team. They actually passed us off. So this time around, I think the English team for me is loaded. And with Kane banging the goals, in the EPL last season, also playing in that team, also finding his form. And where I have issues with England should be in their back three or back four because Cahill, I don't know whether it's Cahill or whether it will be Dyer combining with him. That's the way I have a little bit of concerns about the English national team. But because now Cahill is a bit old. He's a veteran player, so definitely he could be on his last legs. So you don't expect him to be, playing like a spring chicken, like other younger players. So that's one area they need to actually sort out. If they don't, they might get bounced, in the group stages. All
right, and just a quick look at some teams making their first appearance at the World Cup. Panama is one of them. Iceland. Also, another team that's making their debut at the World Cup. We know that for Panama, this is kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say funny, but yes, it's something. There was a national holiday declared in Panama after they qualified for the World Cup for the first time. And just imagine what happens when they score the first goal or when they get out of the group stage, if they do get out of the group stage, and maybe finally if they win the World Cup.
It's not
sipping that thing, sipping all this.
Which World Cup? But Nnamdi, to say a little bit about Panama, I watched that game. That game was crazy, and I've not seen the stadium bleed with so much joy in that game. It was so crazy. And also have to note that they did it against one of when it comes to like association in not a very good way against USC, and they scored that last. The best of goals are the goals that come very, very late. The goals that nobody expects, and Panama did it. That goal was crazy. The stadium was bleeding. The fans were coming out of anywhere. And when you qualify for the World Cup, the biggest competition when it comes to country football, public holiday one day is even too small. I think they should go like 1 month public holiday. These guys have to chill and enjoy yourself. That's the way it should work. Honestly, I think for this World Cup going on, I think all their World Cup games.
You were doing so well before.
They should declare. They should declare like two or 3 days holiday. Because honestly, Panama for me, it's also there. But I think they are going to be the whipping boys. But there's sometimes when you get whipped, you get proud. Because nobody expects to do anything. I'm not coming down to IT or the rest. But if they get whipped, they'll be happy. But if Francisco against Panama, it was like, it's going to history. Francisco against us or something like that.
If I'm not mistaken, in 1989, the Dama Miracle, a holiday was declared when we won that game.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it was a military era, but a holiday was declared when we won that game. So it's not something out of this world.
Panama scored 1 goal, they will call holiday. 1 goal, they will call holiday. 1 goal.
All right. The Saudis for me are looking good.
Yeah, they're looking good. They're looking good in the tunnel.
They can also fancy their chances against Russia because the Saudis, I think, as I said earlier during my preamble, they qualified second, I think, ahead of Australia on goals difference. And one player I'm looking at for Saudi Arabia should be Mohamed Al Salawi. He's got 16 goals, and that's joint highest in the world alongside Lewandowski of Poland. Yeah. So that's one player I'm looking forward to. Yes, they also have their veteran captain Osama Housen. I think they're close to like 130 caps for Saudi Arabia. But again, where I have the issue around Saudi Arabia is the fact that they're also having some managerial problems because they brought in one Antonio Pizzi. Pizzi failed to take Chile to the World Cup, and they brought him.
Oh my!
he knows how to play good football.
I'm wondering, and again, even the guy that qualified them for the World Cup, that's Bert Morvijk from Holland.
Yes,
was sacked. They brought in Eduardo Balzo, and he was also sacked.
Total manager in 4 months.
Yeah. Now they brought in again this man from Chile. That's one Antonio Pizzi. As I said before, he didn't qualify Chile for the World Cup, and now he's coming to Saudi Arabia. So whatever he's going to do down there, for me, I don't know. So, but in this game against Russia for me have got a very, very bad record when it comes to playing friendlies in the lead up to the championship. So I think the Saudis should fancy their chances
All right, the Saudis should fancy their chances against Russia, and that's definitely what's going to happen. But before we connect with our commentators for this particular, the first game of Russia 2018 World Cup, VAR would be set to take center stage. Hero or villain?
For me, Namdi, I've never really been a fan of VAR, the video assistant referees. For me, I've not. But if there's any competition you have to test it, it has to be like the biggest competition. My fear, I hope it doesn't kill the vibe. Hope it's well organized and the rest. That's my fear. But it will be bad because when it comes to world competition, you need total assistance there. It will be bad, but let it go in the right way. It should not dull the game.
All right, guys, this is the official radio broadcast of the World Cup Russia 2018, and it's coming to you on Nigeria Info and the network service of Radio Nigeria in partnership with Kwese Free Sports. The players are coming out of the tunnel. It's now time for us to connect with our commentary team right here. This is all about the Russia 2018 World Cup.